Here we go. Trigger sessions continued.
This is for shoulders now, so I'm gonna take my...
Real quick before you start this, I had a ton of people ask since we started these videos, if you guys don't have the MAPS Anabolic program, that's where all these trigger sessions are featured. You can find that at mindpumpmedia.com.
This is our foundational program. This is the starting point for a lot of our people.
So one of my favorite trigger session movements with the band for shoulders is your good old-fashioned side lateral. Very, very easy to get into this movement. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand right in the center of the band. So here, standing right in the center, I'm holding one side in each hand, elbow slightly bent, and I'm gonna pull them out to the sides. Nice and controlled with this movement. Now you'll notice I'm keeping my elbows in line with my hands. As I'm coming up, I'm not rotating them out like this and causing a lot of problems in my shoulders. Right. Again, hands, elbows, shoulders, same height. I'm pulling up.
You're not excessively arching your back, which I see a lot of times when people raise, they're gonna push forward with their hips and they're gonna try and make this easier to get. So you're just staying nice and controlled and stabilized there.
Excellent. Your turn.
Beautiful. So I like to do rear delts with this. And when you do this, pay attention to where I keep my scapula when I actually get into the rear fly, because I see a lot of people do rear flies and they end up working more of their rhomboids than they actually are getting involved with their rear delts.
Now the rear delts are these muscles right back here. And by the way, for those of you who want nice shoulders, this plays a huge role. If you have a nice developed rear delt, you get a nice round shoulder.
Not just for development, but also for posture. Let's keep a nice posture position with the upper body.
Those are part of the muscles that are responsible for taking the syndrome that everybody's got, right? This rounded forward head. Those rear delts are partially responsible for helping keep you back in that neutral position. So like Justin's saying, it's a great reason why this is such an important movement that people get. When you do this, I actually want to allow my shoulders to start in this forward position. I want to get a soft bend in my knees. I want my elbows bent in a fixed position. So they're in a fixed slight bend, about 10 degrees, and then I'm coming back and out. So most people, when they do rear delts, I see this.
Yes. No, it's not a row. We're not trying to do a row here.
So notice,
yes, there's
more of a separation. So I keep myself in that fixed position with my elbows, but as I'm flying, I'm actually flying out. So I think about flying out opposed to flying back. So that back motion really kicks the back in more. That flying motion where I'm flying out while I keep myself in a protracted position will actually target the rear delts more. And I'm looking for 15 to 20 reps, nice and controlled, get a nice pump.
Excellent. Justin, it's your turn.
All right. So let's go ahead and
what a show off. He grabs the heavier band, huh?
You weenies. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so let's take it just to like our regular shoulder press. And I say regular, but I like to add a little bit of functionality with it. So I like to add a bit of rotation. So that way I can kind of promote a more, what I feel is a bit more natural lifting process where I'm bringing my arm over my head. So you see how I naturally just want to rotate with my wrist and my elbow together, as opposed to being more rigid in my movements here. I don't feel like I'm a robot. So this is what I tend to do more so. So
you're standing on the band there with one foot.
Right, one foot here, and I'm gonna kind of grab underneath, keep it into the chest, and I'm just gonna, from here, rotate and press my way up over my head, and then I'm not gonna overreach. I'm just gonna kind of keep it here where I'm also supported in the overhead position, and then I'm back down. So just going through full range of motion, which is really what I like to use trigger sessions for primarily, is to just emphasize.
Well, I love you doing that with the rotation and for a trigger, because
so different.
Getting a massive pump too when you're having to rotate like that. So the rotator cuff getting involved, both posterior and anterior delt getting involved, great movement.
And you know, one thing to take note is where he's gripping the band here with his hand. The band is in the front of his hand, not behind it. Right. A lot of shoulder exercises, it'll be on this side.
Great point.
On this particular movement, it's around his thumb, and he is holding it in the palm of his hand, but that's what's allowing that rotation. If he puts it behind his hand, he won't be able to get that same
it's going to get
movement.
funky here, so yeah.
It's not going to work out, so.
Yeah, you could, but yeah, this is more ideal for what we're trying to do.
Excellent. Listen, we post a video every single day. Subscribe to this channel. Share these videos with your friends.
Like it.
Especially if you want them to get fit and healthy. Also, you can learn more about trigger sessions and some of our revolutionary training concepts at mindpumpmedia.com. Check out our MAPS programs.